So to me, I was like, yeah, if we don't get Austin Mitchell back, we need to sign Malik Stanley. So now you're a free agent. I know the whole league is in your DMs right now. Where will you play next year?
Um,
Yeah. Waick.
Et yo, bienvenue dans votre Fourth Down by Waick. C'est votre serviteur pour une première interview pour cette saison 2025 de LF. Et voilà, on va débuter la saison de la meilleure des façons. Et avant de commencer cette interview, déjà un grand merci à The Free Agent, à TFA qui me laisse sa plateforme pour enregistrer cette interview. Grand merci à Flav, à Charles et à toute l'équipe. Aujourd'hui donc, on reçoit notre premier joueur ELF de la saison 2025. So the first guest, a special guest out of Kansas, USA, wide receiver, former from
sure.
Munich Ravens, from the Panthers. I won't say the name of the city because I can't pronounce it. Uh, and the Sea Devils. His name is Malik Stanley. How you doing, my friend?
I'm good. I'm good. Nice to be here.
Yeah, thanks for coming on, man. It's been a
Yeah.
while. I wanted to talk to you for a while now.
Yeah, we've been trying to get this together for a little while now. We've been missing each other.
Yeah. I was in Valenciennes when you played the playoff game against Paris, but I couldn't make it on the field, so couldn't talk to you.
Ah, damn.
Yeah, so Malik, can you tell us where you from?
Yeah, I'm from Topeka, Kansas. That's pretty much, yep,
Yeah,
Topeka, Kansas.
Kansas. Yeah, and how is it in Topeka, Kansas? Where in the late 1990s, the early 2000s. How was it growing up over there?
It wasn't bad, man. I had a good childhood. My mom raised me, and also my grandmother. Um, so yeah, it was all right. Started playing sports around 6 years old,
Hmm.
and I played every sport you could think of, from football, wrestling, gymnastics,
Okay.
baseball, soccer, um, basketball, of
Ball.
course.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
What
So
was
all the sports you
your,
could
your
think of.
what was your favorite sport growing up?
Basketball was
Oh
definitely my
yeah.
favorite sport.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Which position do you play?
Um, I was always the tallest as a kid, so I was
Uh-huh.
playing the big man position. Yeah, I was
Yeah.
I was in the post.
Yeah. So yeah, you tell us you just told us that you're a big man. So where does that come from? From your mom?
Um, Not really. Honestly, it's kind of my dad's 6'1". My mom's taller for a woman, so I guess I got a little bit of tall genes from both of my parents' side.
Yeah. Yeah. And you said your mom raised you and your grandmother. Any relationship with your dad or not?
No, not really. We have a little bit of a relationship, text here and there. Nothing serious.
Okay. Nothing too crazy. So when did you really start playing football? Like you took it seriously?
Yeah, I would probably say my senior year of high school. Of course, throughout high school, I was taking it serious. I think the biggest thing was for me was the off-season training
Hmm.
going into my senior year. So junior year, I really started taking it serious and lifting heavy and trying to run fast and going out for track just to get faster, like everybody else. But just continue to try to get better at football. And eventually, I realized come going into college that I was going to be playing football instead of basketball.
And what was that?
Um, for me, I didn't go straight to a division or a university. I went
Hmm.
to a community college. I
Yeah.
went to Coffeyville Community College, and it was good. I spent 2 years there and ended up going to South Alabama.
Hmm.
And I also played 2 years there, redshirted my last year, and grad transferred to Louisiana Tech
Okay.
and finished my college career there.
So why would you play football instead of basketball if basketball was your favorite sport?
Um, I don't know. It It changed really fast. I think I knew that I had a chance to make it all the way really in football or to
Mhm.
make it to a professional level in football. Um, Instead of basketball, I think I definitely love the game of basketball still, even to this day.
Yeah.
But I feel like my calling was truly football.
And who is your favorite basketball player of
Oh,
all time?
LeBron James, of course, LeBron
Yeah,
James.
yeah. Say that I was sure you would answer that because you were born 1997, right?
Yeah, 97, yeah.
Yeah, so you were a LeBron guy all the way. Maybe a Kobe, little Kobe.
I have some Kobe Bryant friends.
Yeah,
I'm definitely a fan, but
yeah,
LeBron was the guy for me, definitely.
yeah, for sure, for sure, for sure, for sure. I'm more of a Kobe fan because I was born in '90,
Yeah, that
so
makes sense then. Yeah,
that
so
yeah,
that's your years for sure.
yeah, for sure, for sure. And what was your favorite team? So Cleveland, Miami.
I'm gonna be
Ever?
honest, it's just been LeBron for me. So if LeBron is wearing that jersey, you might as well put it on me.
And who was your favorite football player growing up?
Um, a big one that actually made me want to play football at a professional level was Calvin Johnson, Megatron.
Oh
That's
yeah.
who I kind of started attaching my game to. Of course, even before that was, well, I guess just a couple years before that was Larry Fitzgerald.
Okay. Yeah.
Um, so those type of guys.
So you kind of modeled your game after Calvin Johnson, right?
Yeah, for sure. Try to.
Yeah. Try to. Yeah. Big body receiver. Can run fast. Can block and do it all on the field. Like that's what you do right now.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
And what was your favorite team growing up?
Oh, the Chiefs, of course. Always been the Chiefs. I did have
Okay.
there was a small stage where I was a Tennessee Titans fan. And a small part of me, I still love the Tennessee Titans, but
How how is that?
it's the
How
Chiefs.
is that possible?
Um, well, growing up, Vince Young was
Oh
big
yeah.
for the Tennessee Titans, and I
Yeah.
watched his college career and Reggie Bush's college career, and
Mm-hmm.
I just became more of a fan of Vince Young, I guess, and
Yeah.
was in love with the way he played, and they ended up getting a running back. I always forget his name. The Rams.
Chris Johnson,
Chris
CJ2K.
Johnson.
Yeah.
Chris Johnson, yeah. He was fire. So
Yeah.
those are my guys growing up for a little bit. But nah, through and through a Chiefs fan. But
You know what? I interviewed Kevin Fortes last year, your former
yeah.
teammate in Hamburg, and he told me he's also he is a real Titans fans.
Oh,
Yeah, he
that's
grew up
all
a
right
Titans
there.
fans.
That's
Like
all right there.
his mom bought him a Steve McNair jersey when he
Mm-hmm.
was young and
Yeah.
stuff like that. So yeah, so he's a
Yep. I had
Titans
me
fan.
one when I was young too. Yep. That probably played a little part.
Yeah, yeah, for sure, for sure. So you're Chiefs fan, and I'm a Patriots fan. Yeah, as you can see right now. So you know, I'm
It's tough for you over there in New England.
yeah, for it's been tough for a little while right now. Yeah,
Yeah, for sure.
yeah,
But
but
hey, if anybody ever has to talk about anything, just tell them that Tom Brady wouldn't be nothing without the Patriots.
yeah, tell him that. Tell him that. Tell him that for sure. Yeah, I'm a big Brady fan, and I hate the Chiefs. Can't For real.
I feel
Can't
it. I feel it.
yeah, yeah, there's a big rivalry. There was, a
For
big
sure. We
rivalry.
used to always meet you guys in the AFC conference
Championship.
championship every time, right?
Yeah. And was always a great game playing against you
Always.
guys. Yeah, yeah, for sure, for
Yeah.
sure. So you went up to Louisiana Tech. How's that transition like? Is Kansas far away from Louisiana?
Yeah, Kansas is well, Louisiana is a little bit closer than from Alabama.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it was from to Alabama it was like a 14-hour drive, and then to Louisiana was 9 hours. So it was pretty far.
So how's a mama's boy just leave his mama to go to college?
Hey, she was the one that pushed it on to me. She wanted me to go out and explore this world and experience everything I can, and she felt like that was a big part of growing and becoming who I am as my own person, my own individual. And I really thank my mom for that because It does. Experience does play a big part in your growth in life, I feel like.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. You have to travel. You have to open your mind to new things, try new things. So yeah,
Hmm.
that's always yeah, something you have to do as a young man, as a kid. Travel the world, see everything. Yeah, for sure, for sure.
For
And
sure.
did she come at your games? Do you play?
Yeah, she's been to Europe a couple times. She's always traveled to every single one of my college football games.
Okay, okay.
Even this last season, my first season in Mexico, she made it down to a good game halfway through the season, the Monterrey Fundadores game, and then she also made it to the championship game. So she was there to celebrate that with me. It was a great time.
Ah, that's good. That's good. So, a supportive mom. My mom was the same. She would. I was playing soccer in Guadeloupe, the French island in the West Indies, and she was always there every game, no matter weather. She was there. Yeah, very
There's nothing
supportive.
like mother support, right?
Nothing like it, but she was scared as hell because I was goalkeeper, so it was kind of dangerous, you know what I mean? So
For sure.
always scared, screaming on the sideline, "Oh my
Hmm.
baby!" What I mean?
Yeah,
That kind of stuff. But yeah.
for sure.
So I think did you always dreamed of playing in the NFL
Of
growing
course,
up?
yeah, and that's still the dream, right? I'm not that old yet.
Yeah, no.
I just turned 27 this year, so it's still a possibility for me.
Yeah. So, how was it like, on draft day, all the draft process? How was it like?
For me, it was really frustrating because I came out during COVID year, so I didn't really have an opportunity to get in front of teams.
Mm,
So the draft process was different than any year ever
mm,
since the draft's been going on. It's
yeah,
never
yeah.
been like that. So it was definitely frustrating. The process was a lot different, I think, as well. I think they only did a few rounds instead of the amount of rounds they usually do. So it felt like it was different. Maybe
Mm,
I think the rounds actually were the same, but
mm,
it felt like a little different than
yeah,
it has been in the past.
yeah. The rounds were the same, but the team meetings and stuff like that. The pro
Right.
days, everything was different
Hmm.
during the 2020. Was that? Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so everything was different. So yeah, it was a big disadvantage, in my opinion, for small schools player. You
For
know,
sure, for sure.
big time programs they will already expose their player, but for
Hmm.
player coming out of not
Any
big,
mid-major, yeah.
yeah, what I
Mhm.
mean. So it would be always more difficult for them in that year, in that COVID year. So yeah, so you didn't hear your name called. Did you get invited to any training camp or something like that by an NFL
No,
team?
no, I didn't have any invitation to any camps. Just fell under the radar really, and then I
Hmm.
spent my first season professional. I went to the indoor football league and
Okay.
played for the Tucson Sugar Skulls. I had a good experience down there with Dixie Wooten. Gave me an opportunity, that I thought it was over, So
Yeah.
it opened my eyes to different ventures in the avenue of still playing and doing what I love to do. So that revived my professional career.
So yeah, because I think when you don't get your name called, it's just crushing, right? Your
For sure.
heart's broken, your dreams does not come true for now, would I say, and you have to recover from that. Did you get through some dark times after that, the draft process?
Um, of course, yeah, 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 I would be lying if I said I didn't. But I just knew that I had to keep my head down and go back to work and reach out to, or I had to reach out to my agent at the time and see what the next step was from there.
Okay. And did you add any plan B if not football?
I'm still working on my counseling and education master's degree at
Hmm.
Louisiana Tech. So that's really my backup plan. Of course, there's other things I would like to do, but
Hmm.
I think that's probably the biggest of my side
Yeah,
things.
yeah, okay. Okay, so yeah. So after, the whole draft process, you didn't get picked up, you made it to the indoor league. So how do you come to Europe, man? Like I know Americans don't think about playing in Europe at all.
Right. So I went to this hub camp. It's just like a undrafted free agent camp, and people that were going to play in the USFL and XFL at the time going to these camps. And so I went out to one in San Diego, and um, the Panthers seen my film from that and reached out to me. Actually, I think they see my film on Twitter or Instagram and reached out to me from that, and that's how it got started, I guess.
Yeah. So what year was that? 2021?
2021. And I created some of the coaches at the hub camp told us to create a Euro players account because
Okay.
some of those teams would be watching as well in Europe. And I only thing I knew about it was the Japanese league. I didn't even know about European football, really.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Yeah, I know Americans don't know nothing about American football in Europe, for sure, for sure.
Right.
But yeah, a lot of I think every European players is on the website like
Right.
Euro. I don't know the website. Euro football.
Europlayers.com or something like that.
Yeah, this website. They all sign up to it, so to post their highlights to find a team somehow, some way. Yeah. So you go there first year in Europe. How is that?
It was good, man. It was a great opportunity. There were some ups and downs. Of course, throughout any football season, the city was beautiful, but the football was football. It felt like, how football should feel. Of
Mm,
course, not having as many Americans, the level of IQ isn't as high in every
mm,
position,
mm-hmm.
but you can still feel the passion and the competitive edge that everybody has out there.
Yeah. So how is a guy from Kansas, America, going to wherever it is? I can name the city.
Roslav.
Wrocław in Poland. How do you adapt to the new environment?
It was just practically like going to college for my first time again.
Okay.
Just being open minded to the whole experience, not going into it with any negative thoughts about it, just going into it with with excitement, just positive energy and just hoping that this thing works out and helps me get to where I want to get to in life.
Yeah. So you took it as an opportunity to have film, right?
Right, for
Basically,
sure, for
for
sure.
sure, for sure. And were you surprised of the level of play in Europe when you made it there?
Yeah, I was surprised for sure. I
Yeah.
don't think
How's
I think that every American that comes over to Europe for the first time, they always at first think that, oh, this is going to be so easy, and then
mm,
it's a slap in the mouth.
mm.
I kind of had some conversations with people prior to me going over there, and we knew what the mindset was, and so I never um, I never looked down upon my opponent. So
Yeah.
I mean, so everybody that stepped in front of me, I just imagined they was the best that had to be offered, so I had to win every
Mm.
rep. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I got you. And did you play with Cavante Turpin
Yeah. No, I didn't. He was there the
the year
year before
before?
I got there. Yeah.
Oh yeah, so you heard of him.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Me and his agent were talking for a while. Actually, we had some things set up.
Okay, so he was in the league, kick returner, wide receiver, and now
Yeah,
he plays in the NFL. He's obvious, honestly, to me, the best kick returner in the NFL right now.
he's definitely one of them for sure. He's a speedy guy. He's a threat every time he touches the ball.
Yeah, and he scored last game against the Texans. Obviously, the
Yeah, he
Cowboys
did.
lost, but yeah, it's Cowboys. That's what
Yeah,
it is.
he always looks pretty good. I know
Yeah,
I know he gets a lot of hate for how small he is out there, but he does his thing.
yeah. I don't care about the size. The guy can play football, man.
Right,
That's
right.
for sure. So maybe in your mind you say, "Hey, this guy made it from Wrocław in Poland. Maybe I can make it out too."
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. That's definitely the thought process going into it.
Yeah. So you play your first season there, and then you go to Hamburg, which at the time was one of the biggest uh, franchise in Europe. Still is, but not really at the same level that they were before. What was how did that happen actually?
Um, Coach Jones and Coach Elliston reached out to me, and I played them twice a year, being in the same conference when I was on the Polish team, and they really liked what I brought to the game of football, and not just as a receiver, but as an energy guy and a leader, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's what attracted them to want me to play for them so much, and we had a lot of conversations, and we came to an agreement to that the best spot for me that year was Hamburg.
Yeah, and that year in Hamburg, did is that year you made it to the finals or not?
No, no, that was the first down year. That was the year
Oh
Coach
yeah,
Jones
yeah.
was on his way out.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. So that year you came to you played against Paris that year twice.
Correct.
Yeah, the Paris first year. Okay, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
in the league. Yeah, yeah. So how does that team did not I mean your team the Sea Devils why didn't why didn't it work this year that year particularly what went wrong that year for you?
Um, as a team, I think we just were trying to find an identity that we just did not have at the moment. At the time, we had an offensive coordinator, and he went out the he left the team 4 or 5 weeks into the season,
Okay,
and I think I had a hamstring like the
against
fourth or
Paris.
fifth week.
Yeah,
Yeah, against Paris,
yeah.
I only played half the game, and then that next week I played Frankfurt and was out there on one leg. Didn't even put up any stats. It was
Mm,
actually I should have just not played, but
yeah.
yeah, we just were struggling as an offense. And then that Frankfurt game, that same game I shouldn't have played, our starting quarterback, our American quarterback, tore something in his shoulder. So,
Oh
and then it
yeah.
was downhill from there. Really, we was fighting an uphill battle. And honestly, that's a tough conference to get out of.
Yep.
Um, but yeah, it just wasn't the Hamburg standard, even on either side of the ball.
Mm,
Um, and yeah, so we just had the
yeah.
football struggles, of course, and some injuries, and
Mm.
that's how the season went.
Yeah, there was very disappointed season for you guys. I talked to Kevin Fortes about it, and he was also disappointed because he had option to go somewhere else, and he chose to stay because he was being actually loyal to the team that brought him in, and the season went the way it went, and everybody was kind of disappointed. And from there, you fast forward to next, so to 2024 basically, and same old in Hamburg. They don't perform. A lot of instability. They change the quarterback. They change. Yeah, I mean, just a shame in my eyes because it's been a great city for football in Europe, the city of the commissioner actually. He's from there,
Yeah.
so they have a big fan base.
hmm
They can play in a big stadium like they did last year against Rheinfire. So yeah, hope they can get it together. Hope they can get it together.
We'll see. We'll see.
Yeah. So after that year, you went to play to Mexico, right?
Yes, sir. Yes,
Why?
sir. Um, to end the season in Hamburg, we had brought in a linebacker, Leo Crosby, Leandre Crosby, and he said, "Hey, man, I want you to come down to the team with me in Mexico." And they just won the championship, and they were going to be missing some guys at receiver,
Hmm.
and he wanted me to come join the team. So me and the head coach had some conversations, and we got it done.
Yeah, and how is it to play in Mexico? It's not that far away from you, from where you from, actually.
No, it's not too far, but it's far enough to definitely fly. But
Yeah.
it was good though. It was good. I had a really good experience. We went undefeated. I played with some really good teammates, not just good guys, but really good players. Practices were harder than games, it felt like.
Okay.
Um, and yeah, we went on undefeated and won the championship.
Yeah,
And it was really good.
you led the league in reception, you led the league in yards. So you were basically the best receiver in there in a league that has a lot of American players, right?
Yeah, for sure. I would say I was the best receiver if you was asking me.
I know that for a fact.
Yeah.
Yeah, I spoke to one player. I won't say his name because he didn't allow me to say his name, but I spoke to one player that also played in Mexico. He told me that the league was pretty competitive, but maybe the coaching is not that, kind of subpar. Would you say that?
Mm, maybe that's what separates that team from an undefeated championship team. You know what I mean? And the year before that, they won the championship as well and were undefeated. So maybe that's the standard that the organization I've been to brings, and that the development does matter, because that is a big thing when you step outside of the United States when you play football. The development of the national player, right?
Mm-hmm.
If
Yeah.
that's not good enough, the people that come in that you bring in, they can be as good as you want them to be. But if the national players still aren't very good, sometimes, you know, and the coaching definitely has to be on a higher level. But for our team, it was definitely a very high level of coaching. They held us to a high standard.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I think the player development is probably better in Mexico because they have the infrastructure of a college as well. So I think
Okay.
I would say would be better than it is in Europe.
Yeah, that was my next question. How would you compare like your Mexican team, so to say, to the teams that you've been in Europe?
Oh, I would just compare. The only comparisons would be a championship team, and those wouldn't even compare, honestly. So
Okay.
if you could times rain fire by 4, that would maybe compare to the Chaldeos.
Okay. Okay. So
Yeah,
the very high level, high standards, and the infrastructure over there are very very high level, right?
very high level. Yeah, for definitely in Chihuahua.
Okay. So still need some work in Europe, right?
I would say it's on the right track for sure. In
Mm-hmm.
Europe, they're on the right track right now.
Yeah, yeah. But don't are you not scared that some teams are falling apart in this league? We saw the Leipzig Kings fell apart. We saw the Istanbul Rams fell apart. Now there is the situation in Barcelona that does not look good at all. There was some troubles in Switzerland as well. So what's your opinion on all that?
Yeah, maybe there's some teams that just shouldn't be in it. Maybe the league's growing a little too fast,
Okay, yeah.
um, because the best of what Europe has to offer is a really good product. But if teams can't afford to be in it, or owners can't afford, or they don't have the infrastructure to support a full team, I think that they should probably just kindly step away. I know it's easier
Yeah,
said than done, right? But
for sure, for sure.
yeah, I think that's actually what's holding the league back a little bit. I think it might be growing too fast in some points, but
Yeah, I think so
it
too.
it's still on the right track. If you look at it as a whole, it's still they're doing the right thing, getting all
Mm.
the surrounding countries, trying to keep them all involved with the grand scheme of it, which is American football, right?
Yeah, yeah, for sure. So you went you went to Mexico, did your thing there, won your championship, and then you joined the Munich Ravens. So I know you joined the Munich Ravens because Coach Ellison maybe coached you in Hamburg. You had a good relationship with him and you trusted him. So that's why you joined the team.
That's not completely true. Yeah, that played a big part when going into recruiting, coming off of the championship. But Ryan Fire reached out to me a couple of days before the championship in Mexico and said they would want me to be there that weekend. Obviously, that wasn't possible, and that would have been a good situation for me as well. And then I also spoke to Helvetic a little bit, and obviously between the three options, I think Munich obviously was the better option because Rainfire wasn't willing to wait until after the championship, and you've seen they picked up some guy from the Mexican League as well. I can't remember his name.
I won't. Yeah, I won't know. I won't know.
But yeah, so yeah, it did come down to relationship at the end of the day. It came down to what was best for me as well in choosing the right team, and because I still wanted to have a chance to play in the playoffs and do that. And I also spoke to the Panthers, so I almost had a little reunion right there.
Yeah.
And then
But
they started having all the coaching
change.
problems and all
Yeah.
that. So
It
that
does.
went
It
through
doesn't seem
to the
like
Pats.
it doesn't seem like a franchise you want to go play for. For me, the Panthers. Not throwing to no shades at all, but it doesn't seem stable at all over there.
Yeah, it actually is one of the better franchises when you look at the infrastructure as a whole. They have a whole sports side to the Panthers, Roslav, and they have softball, lacrosse,
Okay.
ultimate frisbee. Man, they got it all really.
Yeah.
So yeah, they're really big on their athletes over there at Panther or in Roslav.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. And you told me, and I was told that you discussed with Paris. I campaigned actually for you to come to Paris. I was like, we need to sign Malik Stanley. We needed that type of player. So what went on over there?
I mean, it almost happened. The they I was in talks with them and the Mexican League at the same time, the LFA. So I wasn't sure what I was going to do. And when the right offer came from the LFA, I made the decision to go ahead and go with that. And Paris had another guy ready. So the second I made my decision, they went the other guy.
Yeah, and that guy being I think Austin Mitchell, and
Of course.
he,
Yes.
he had he had a pretty good season, 14 touchdowns. He was great. He was great receiver. Did had an awesome career in the GFL as well. Great guy. I met him. Really nice guy, and a good, really good player. I don't know what he's going to do next year, but yeah, he's a good one. I would have loved for you to be in Paris for sure, but I mean, Austin did his thing too. Let's
Yeah, he
be
did do
honest, he
his
did.
thing.
Yeah, he did his
Mhm.
thing. So you went up to Munich, and the season when it went, how it went, and you played against Barcelona. That game in Barcelona, the first one, you guys won what 60 to some, and they stopped playing at halftime. Is it that game?
Yes, that's the game.
So how'd you feel that day?
Um, man, you really just feel sorry for that team, right?
Mm,
It's nothing the players had any control of, and it was just a lot going on, and that was a direct reflection of the negatives in
mm.
the European Football League as of right
Yeah,
now.
yeah. And then you had to play them one more time, but in Munich, and you guys won. I don't know, 90 to some. I don't know. You won. It was really bad, but hey, you had stats against them.
Yeah,
You could stat that.
both of those games I came out at halftime. I didn't play neither of the
This,
full games.
yeah, for sure, yeah. So you went so you obviously made it to the playoffs and played against Paris.
Yeah,
That game was the absolute best game for me for of the whole season. The best game I saw was that game because he had everything. Special teams touchdown, turnovers, uh, the game-winning drive, the atmosphere in the stadium, everything. How how did you? I mean, I guess the question is, how did you feel going into the game?
Oh, we were excited, man. We felt like we were on the right route, right tracks to win that game and go on to make a real dent and make a real run in the playoffs, right?
Mm-hmm.
We came up short, but going into it, we had no doubt in our minds that this game was ours for the taking.
Yeah, yeah. And you went up against that game. You went up against Chandler Jones, who was to me. I did his interview actually. The best the best cornerback in the league last year. Even though he played only half the season because he had a hamstring injury, he came back. Actually, the last game he played against you was his first game coming off injury, I think.
Right, right.
And he played you well. It was not your best game until the fourth quarter where he had the big touchdown down the sideline, the big gain down the sideline, and after that, the the goal line fade touchdown on him. So, how was it like to play against him?
Um, a good competitor. I don't have much negative to say about him. I wouldn't say he's the best DB in
Mm.
the ELF. I wouldn't say he's top three, probably. Your best ability is availability, right?
Yeah, for sure.
So that's already putting
Mm.
you below five. So
Hmm.
in my eyes, but he's a good football player for sure. You can see that he can play different positions in defense. He's not scared to come down and tackle.
Mm.
Aggressive at the line when he needs to be, and he seems like a smart football player as well.
Yeah, he's a great dude actually off the field too. If you have any time, any chance to speak to him, to link up with him, he's a really nice dude, man. Really. He will not play in the ELF next year because he just posted a message on Instagram that basically say he won't be coming back next year. What will he do? I don't know. He will play football. I think in the US, maybe make it to a league in the US or the CFL. I don't know, but he's a he's a nice guy to be around, and hopefully wish him all the best, man. All the best.
Mhm.
Was a great dude. So you come down all the way to the play of Paris, and you lose that game. How do you feel after that?
Oh man, it was it was a bad feeling. I mean, throughout that my journey through this year of football, I think that was my second loss. We lost to Stuttgart when I first got to Munich,
Mm,
and then the only other game we lost was to Paris. So yeah, it hurt, man. Um, Winning is everything, right? It really
yeah.
is, and you have to know how to lose when you do lose when you come up short. And I'm not
Mm.
really good at that. And I've been playing this game for a long time, and I'm still not a good loser. But
Yeah.
yeah, it sucked. That's all I can really say about it. I remember that feeling on the sideline, knowing that we was, or that last play, knowing that we couldn't do anything about it.
Yeah,
And it just comes down to that sometimes.
yeah, because really, you had the game in hand in the fourth quarter until that 8 minute drive that Paris put together to score the touchdown like 45 seconds before the end of the game.
Right.
So you were on the sideline watching your defense, like, man, they gonna stop him, right? 8 minutes, golly, that's a long time.
hmm
That's
It was a
that,
long drive.
yeah, 8 minute drive. That's the first time Paris did it all year.
Yeah, it was a great offensive and defensive battle. I mean, like you said, it was probably the best game of that season.
But the thing that was really ugly was the kickoffs. I know Coach Allison at the half just murdered the kicker. I know that for a fact. You don't have to tell me that. I know that. So he told him, don't kick anymore. We don't need no Austin Mitchell return for a touchdown. Don't kick it.
Right.
Am I right?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, Austin Mitchell was dangerous on kickoff return, and he definitely made us pay for it every single time.
Yeah. So yeah, that was kind of, we was like, Oh no, he's gonna kick it out of bounds one more time. Oh, he's gonna kick it 10 yards once again. So it was really that part of the game was really ugly and hard to watch. But as, if you put that aside, the whole game was really, like I said, the best game. The atmosphere was electric. Everything about that game was great. And Paris, sorry to say that, but Paris won, and I was like ecstatic on the sideline.
Of course, of course.
Ecstatic on the sideline. So now you a free agent, and I campaigned on the internet like I do every time. We need to sign Malik Stanley because to me, you and Aaron Jackson are the two best receivers in the league right now. Aaron Jackson from you used to play who used to play
Oh, he
for
just signed to the Mercenaries, the
yeah,
Helvetic.
yeah,
Yeah,
he used to play for Berlin. Now he's in Switzerland.
yeah.
Just signed for the Swiss team. So to me, I was like, yeah, if we don't get Austin Mitchell back, we need to sign Malik Stanley. So now you're a free agent. I know the whole league is in your DMs right now. Where will you play next year?
That isn't planned out yet, man. I mean, I'm open ears to all teams as of right now. Yeah, I haven't really sat down and chosen one location is the best for me yet. Of course, I would like to play for Coach Ellison again, and we've been in talks. But nothing's set in stone. It's always I have to look out for myself when it comes to this year-to-year contract
Mm,
type of things.
mm,
And so yeah, it's a good opportunity going into free agency. Of course, you want to kind of know where you're going, but
mm-hmm.
you don't want to really rush it, especially when you want to make sure that the reason that you're going there is to win, right? Not just for the location, which some people in Europe, that's kind of
Noted.
half the battle, right?
Mm,
But for me, it's tasting victory in the LFA this past year.
mm.
That's the first thing that's on my mind when I choose a team.
Was it the first time you won a title playing football last year in New Mexico?
I won a bowl game in college, but yeah, that was the first professional championship. That was my first championship playing football. Yeah,
So you want to taste that?
besides like little league and stuff
Yeah,
like that.
yeah. Of course, of course. So you want to taste that again?
Yeah, for sure, for sure.
So if you want to taste that again, let me tell you, there's a few teams, not a bunch of teams where you can win actually the championship. So there's this new team in Denmark, Sweden that already have Jadrian Clark and Glenn Tunga over there. So that's a
For
good start.
sure, for sure. That's definitely if I'm championship chasing, that's definitely a good place to start, right?
Yeah, sure. You have the right fire with the best coach in the league, in my opinion. So and the best coaching staff in the league. So maybe that's a possibility. So there is a team in the most beautiful city in Europe, in the world actually, in Paris. Very nice team. Where very nice town, very nice country, where you can actually come and play football, make some money, and win a championship if you come there.
Hey man, we'll see. We'll see. That's the first thing on my mind. But I have a good relationship with a lot of those Paris guys, a lot of those French guys. So if the opportunity's there, it's definitely I wouldn't mind spending my summer in Paris.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't mind too. If I'm telling you, if it was me, I would sign you up right now. Yeah, but maybe the thing I was, thinking about is, so you plan on playing in Mexico, right? Next year.
It's still up in the air for sure.
Okay.
I haven't signed anything yet. But your first year in the LFA, you do sign a 2-year contract to that team. But
Okay.
it's not something that I have set in stone yet at the time.
So, and do you think that can scare teams out that you might be playing in another league during actually the ALF season?
Yeah, for sure. It definitely has teams, of course, needing a guy the first 4 or 5 weeks into the season and not knowing if I'm going to be healthy or ready or wanting to jump into that season halfway through the ELF season. But yeah, I'm open to hearing guys out and hearing teams out, and if they want to wait for me or if the LFA doesn't come back along for this next year, of course I'd be willing to go to a European team.
Okay. So, but why is it? I guess the question is, why is it important for you to play in Mexico? I guess.
I feel like that's if you're playing anywhere outside of the United States and it's not Canada, that's the next best thing as of right now. The amount of Americans you can have on a team, it just changes. It changes everything. It makes you feel like you're in the United States playing highly competitive football.
Oh, okay. So that's why so the level of play is way up there.
Right. We have 16 Americans on the team, 8 on both sides. So just taking that into mind, knowing that, it already changes everything.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. I got you. So, Malik, I won't keep you up all night long, but what was if your career were to stop like right now, what would you do?
I would probably train athletes, not just football, probably all sports. Try to give somebody an opportunity that I felt like I kind of didn't have when I was growing up, or give the next generation the insight that I do have of playing professional sports. Yeah.
No. So, and you told me you're still dreaming of playing in the big league. I mean, when I say the big league, it's the NFL. And what about this pretty new league, the UFL? Did you have any contact with anybody from that league?
Yeah, of course, I have a little bit of contact with specifically one team. I've been in contact with some other guys. Joe Thomas, being at Munich Ravens, has got me in contact with some people. But yeah, I've had a little bit of connection with Skip Holtz these past couple of years. He's been keeping an eye on me, just checking in from here and there, and we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah, you got it. I mean, in my opinion, you don't have anything to do in Europe anymore. I mean, I'm glad to see you play in Europe. Don't get me wrong, but I mean, you're the best receiver there. Like I said, I told Kevin Fortes told me you're the best receiver he's ever played against, and I mean, you better than everybody in Europe. You got to play in the US at some point or the CFL.
Yeah, I feel it. I appreciate that.
Yeah, you got to go there. I'm waiting on that. I'm challenging you. Go play over there, man.
Say less. That's what I'm trying to do with this. Just stepping stones, and eventually they can't resist this. You know what I mean?
Yeah, of course. So, man, thank you, Malik. Once again, thank you for coming on. It was a pleasure for me to have you on. Really, I wanted to do this a long time now. You're the first American non-Paris, American player not playing for Paris that I interview.
There
So
we go.
yeah, so you're the first one. You're the one.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And wish you all the best for the season, and hope maybe to see you with the Paris Musketeers jersey next year.
You never know. You never know.
Yeah, say less. So, man, take care, and we'll see you next time.
All right. Thank you, man. We'll be in contact.
Yeah, for sure. Stay in
All
contact.
right. Have a good night.
Have a good night. Cheers. Donc voilà, c'était l'interview exclusive de Malik Stanley, le receveur américain, pour l'instant sans équipe. en ELF, vous l'aurez bien compris. On espère qu'il va, en tout cas, je l'espère, qu'il va signer à Paris. C'est une interview qui vous a été proposée et qui a été possible avec la participation de The Free Agent. Encore un grand merci à eux, à The Free Agent, à Flavien et à Charles qui nous permettent et qui me permettent en tout cas d'utiliser leur plateforme pour réaliser cette interview de Malik Stanley, une interview que je voulais faire depuis très longtemps. Très très longtemps et je l'ai enfin faite, donc c'est un vrai plaisir pour moi de l'avoir fait, en espérant encore une fois qu'il vienne signer à Paris. S'il ne le fait pas, c'est pas grave, au moins j'espère pouvoir le croiser et j'espère qu'on va le croiser sur les terrains européens la saison prochaine. En attendant, dites-moi en commentaire si vous aimeriez que Malik Stanley rejoigne Paris, les Musketeers de Paris la saison prochaine. En attendant, prenez soin de vous et sur ce, peace!